Hello! I'm Evocable Object 4, and it is time for Hasten's part of the chapter. So, let's get started. English, if you please. I think I'll always remember that day. Even if I had lived through more perilous situations, this one held a special place in my heart. I remember everything so vividly, because it was a human experience, and an unconventional one at that. Just like war, actually. Maybe it left a mark on me precisely because it reminded me of the war, of the pain, of the hopelessness, and also because it made me feel useful again. I thought I could help people, that I could be a functional human being again. But that may have been foolish of me. One can never return from hell, after all, never. Even so, I remember that day as a moment of hope. I tried to cling to that, convincing myself it was my last chance. Was it all in vain? I had an appointment with the doctor afternoon that day. It would be unpleasant. He told me the same thing as usual. I had to make an effort for my treatment to work. I couldn't care less. I didn't believe in its effectiveness. I truly thought I was a lost cause. At that time, his words were painful, and I couldn't escape them. I took a stroll in order to occupy my mind, and somehow, I ended up at the shopping center. There were people everywhere, talking, walking, kissing, laughing. The crowd was lively, too lively for me. I had barely taken a few steps and I already felt dizzy. I felt tired, so tired. Hearing the voices of these people, living their daily life, happily without a doubt, was breaking my heart even further. I didn't belong there, among the normal, among the humans. I didn't fit in this picture of joyful couples and families. But I couldn't stop hearing the voices, laughing louder and louder. I couldn't understand a thing, but I was already fighting to escape those words. I was there, walking slowly and trying to ignore my terrible headache, when a deafening sound broke through my thoughts. I heard an explosion, and the walls began to shake as the windows blew up into tiny pieces. There were screams, people panicking, running in every direction, rushing towards the exit. I could clearly see the fear in their eyes, their failure to grasp what was going on. The ceiling was crumbling, increasing the panic. At that moment, they were all wild animals, and soon enough they became aggressive. I was tired, so very tired, and my head ached so badly that I was too slow to react. I was knocked over, trampled by this hysterical crowd. My field of vision blurred. The last thing I heard before getting hit by a collapsing rock was yet another explosion. Then everything went black. After I snapped out of it, all I could see was pitch black. There was a strong smell, dust particles. I could feel a presence next to me. I wasn't alone. Ah, you're finally awake. As I opened my eyes, I saw a distant silhouette in the darkness. Given the tone of voice, this person seemed to be an old lady. I was afraid your injury would be more serious. Thank goodness you're okay. Where are we? I wish I could tell you, young lady. I think we've fallen from the ground floor. We must be on the lower ground floor. How did we manage to fall exactly? Well, it's a long story. You were hit by a stone, do you remember? Yes, I do. What happened after? I saw you pass out. I couldn't leave you there in that pitiful state. Not when there were people walking all over your unconscious body. I tried to slap you awake. You did open your eyes a bit, but I could clearly see that you were only half conscious. So I pulled you back up and leaned you against my shoulder to help you walk. Since we were as slow as snails, it was near impossible to get away when the ground collapsed beneath us. Do you feel a bit better now? That rock must have stunned you. Wait, you pulled me back up to save me from staring death in the face? I don't know what to say. I mean, you didn't have to. You could have escaped on your own. You don't owe me anything. Why did you bother saving me when you were in danger too? That, young lady, is my duty. I want to help as many people as I can. And please, don't thank me. I don't do that for a pat on the back. Just get better, that's all I ask. If that's all you ask for, I can't decline. Everything seems okay. I just feel a bit numb. That's a relief. Well, we're lucky that none of us got any major injuries during that fall. Now, it'd be even better if we could get out of here. I don't know what about you, but I don't particularly like dark rooms. And this place isn't welcoming either. Since it's pitch black, we have to be cautious and not do anything reckless. Let's see. After feeling around in the darkness carefully, I came to a conclusion. Madam, I think I've figured out the situation. We're actually between two floors. That's why it's so dark. The bad news is, I don't know how long this little platform will hold. I think it's safe to assume it's not the most stable piece of ground. Just as I finished talking, a grinding noise confirmed my theory. I felt the platform shake a bit. It might fall down at any minute. It smells like trouble. What do we do now? Any ideas? I thought deeply while looking around. There was nothing to the right or left, only a fragile pile of intertwined junk and pieces of what previously used to be the ground. It appeared that they were the only things keeping the platform from falling. It was impossible to climb onto a broken pillar because of the smooth marble, and there was no sign of light above it anyway. It would have been too dangerous to jump blindly. I decided to look down as well, just to be sure, and knelt. Now that I was used to the darkness, I could see light right under the platform. The lower ground floor, in all likelihood. I pointed it out to the old lady. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. Sorry. Alright. I think the lower ground floor is just here. We could jump and try to find the exit from there. We're not that high up. I don't think we'd get hurt. Alright, let's see. What if the platform falls on us? We'll just have to be quick. If you think it's safer than staying here, I'll do as you say. Feeling that the unsteady platform was slowly inclining and creaking more and more, I sat down and went first, hoping that the landing wouldn't be too violent. Surprisingly, a bunch of rubble softened my fall, and I landed perfectly. There was a corridor, and some people looking at me with surprise. A mother and her child. As encouraging as seeing other faces was, I had to focus on my companion first. Madam, you can go ahead. It's safe. And there are other people down here. Roger! Here I come. Catch me. The old woman jumped as well. Mission accomplished. Maybe we can leave now. A woman in her 30s approached us with her child who was hiding behind her and told us with a calm voice, I'm afraid I'll have to let you down because there's no way out of here. We're trapped as well. Are you sure? As I was about to ask the stranger for more information, I heard a voice calling for help nearby. Everybody looked in the same direction. There was a door leading to the bathroom at the end of the hallway. Without a second thought, I rushed in, followed by the woman I just met. Whoop. Into the bathrooms! When we entered the bathroom, we immediately noticed a young man lying on the floor. He looked like a teenager and seemed embarrassed. I understood why. There was a wheelchair next to him, stuck under a rock. He must have been crawling in order to retrieve it. Ah, how troublesome. Don't worry, we'll put it back. Well, golly, don't worry, we'll put it back in place. Thanks. It's not working as well as before, but it's better than nothing. Not having anything else to do in the damaged bathroom, we decided to go back to the hallway. Nice to meet you all. The more the merrier, I say. You should be happy about the fact that we're still alive right now. Maybe it's a good time for introductions? Well, At that exact moment, there was a strange sound. The sound of scratching and coughing. We all turned back to see what it was, and suddenly a human hand emerged from a pile of debris. Mmm. We all cringed simultaneously. My heart beat harder. Could it be? The hand cleared out the stones, and as it made its way out, a man got out of the ruins and dusted himself off. We were made speechless by his appearance. You. Close call. Hello there. May I know where this is? And maybe know what you're doing out here? I was unconscious under this pile of junk. I just woke up after hearing your voices, but I couldn't tell where I was. I saw a light, and here I am. I guess now is a good time for introductions. Unless there's another one hidden elsewhere. I doubt it. I'm Adeline, retired, 73 years old and still kicking. I was about to go shopping when this thing occurred. Everyone was screaming and jostling around. I saw this young lady on the floor getting walked over by those beasts, and I gave her a hand. As we were slowly escaping, the ground shifted right under our feet, and here we are. Agatha, retired Army officer, 28. I was passing through the shopping center for a little walk, and you already know the rest. Gabriel, 19, student. I was idling around and went to one of the only wheelchair-accessible bathrooms. I heard a commotion outside, but I had to take my time getting back out. Then a part of the wall collapsed near me as I was getting out, and the impact ejected me out of my wheelchair. I passed out, and you helped me get back on track just after I woke up. I'm Alicia, 32, and I have too many jobs right now to count. Let's say cashier and cleaner for now. My son Hasten right here slipped away from me while I was trying to get out of the shopping center, and I had to go looking for him right in the middle of the commotion. I found him here. I guess it was the quietest place at the moment, hence why he chose to take shelter. He hates crowds and noise. Anyway, as soon as I reached him, the walls right here collapsed, and the way out was closed off. He took some time to calm down, and that's when you came in. As for me, I'm Dave, 47 years old. I'm the director of a departmental team of the local public service corporation. We work for the common good. Our office is located on this floor, and I was actually sleeping in mine when the alarm rang out. It's a bit embarrassing, but I assure you it's not because I was partying the night before or anything like that. I'm just currently busy with new files coming out of nowhere. I haven't slept much lately, and couldn't help but fall asleep on my desk. I got trapped in the office since nobody came to see me. They must have thought I already got out. To be honest, I didn't fully understand what was going on. When the wall collapsed on me, I was knocked out. But fortunately, it also allowed me to join up with you. I take it that none of our cell phones work? The teenager, the woman, and the salaryman all sighed in unison. No signal. We're underground after all, and if the building has really fallen down on itself, it's no surprise. Does anyone know what actually happened? Was it an earthquake? Strange earthquake, then. I didn't feel the ground move under my wheels at all. I'd say it was a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack? Yes, I'm pretty sure of it. A small group recently threatened this exact shopping center, saying they wanted to lash out at a symbol of capitalism in our country. Considering that this center is a big economic landmark for the city, it wouldn't be surprising. You seem knowledgeable about these things. Well, I was in the army after all. I had to handle many difficult situations during my missions, and I was frequently in contact with other units. So, what's your opinion on our situation right now? Do you think we have a chance of escaping? Well, I examined the place a bit earlier, so here are my thoughts. Firstly, it's a miracle that all of us have reached a place as large as this one. Usually people trapped underground by something like an earthquake are stuck in a much narrower tunnel, so they can't even move or stand up. Plus they usually get a little light and no means of taking care of themselves. Here we have fully functional toilets, and some of the lights are still working. Not sure they'll last long though. My big question is resources. The taps aren't working. Does anyone have something to eat or drink? I do. I have a full bottle of water in my purse, and I haven't opened it yet. I can definitely share it. That's a new miracle. I only have one request. Go ahead. I also have a smaller bottle of juice. I'll share the water, but I'll keep the other one for my son if you don't mind. He doesn't like water. How can someone not like water? It's tasteless. Shh, everyone has their quirks. Let him do as he wants. No problem. I understand that the kid needs more attention than us. Thank you. He really needs it. I don't want him to be bad-tempered. It's not a good time for that. So, it's not much, but we have one of the essentials. We can't live more than 2 or 3 days without water, whereas on average, humans can survive around a month without eating, if he doesn't tax his reserves. So we have less than 2 or 3 days after finishing the bottle before dying of dehydration. Isn't that magical? Yay! I have another concern. If the taps aren't working, there must be a hole in the water mains inlet, which means a leak. In the situation of a terrorist bomb, it can be due to the damaging of an electric circuit that leads to another explosion. What annoys me is that we don't know exactly where this leak is. We could get flooded at any moment. And if an electric cable has been damaged, that would electrocute us as well. By staying, we might be signing our own death warrant. But we have no way of knowing that, so I have no clue about our survival chances. The future looks quite grim for us. But I don't want to die here! Dave looked pale all of a sudden. He looked terrified and was shaking like a leaf. He rushed to the sealed exit and pounded on the debris. I knew he was going to scream. It's useless, you know. You'll only exhaust yourself. The rescue team won't hear you from above since we're underground. I'm sure they'll come with sensors anyway, so they'll know we're here. For now, let's save our energy, okay? We'll scream only when we hear their voices calling out to us. Do you think we can escape on our own? Well, I don't know if that's humanly possible to clear out the collapse zone, and I can definitely say we can't climb out either. So no, let's say we can't do much. Let's wait for the rescue team. Who knows, they might already be on their way. I just think it'll be safer to set up as far as possible from the ruins. We don't want them falling on our heads. Anyway, let's cooperate. If we want to get out of here alive, our best chance is to help one another and stick together. I may not be in the army anymore, but I promise that I'll put your protection as my top priority. As I finished talking, I saw all of them pull a face. I knew that they were a bit demotivated, but the truth is always better than a pretty lie. Even so, I had to reassure them a little. I'm sure the rescue team will be here soon. We only had to wait. The most important thing right now is to maintain harmony inside our group. We can't let fear or sadness get the better of us. Let's try to pass time as pleasantly as we can." Everyone nodded silently. I thought that they were agreeing, but didn't necessarily know how to strike up a conversation. I had to set an example. "Hasten!" "Say, Alicia, doesn't Hasten want to be with us? I see he's still on his own." Alicia looked flustered as everyone glanced in the same direction. Hasten hadn't been with us for some time now. He was sitting in a corner, so silently that we could have forgotten he was here in the first place. He seemed to be staring into space, and made light grunts from time to time. I hope it's not too difficult for him to get trapped with us like this. Well, I don't really know. Sometimes I wish I could see what's going on in his head. I can't guess if he's just fine right now, or doesn't realize what's going on. I don't even know why he took shelter here in the middle of the panic. It's almost as if he knew this place was going to be safe. Like I said since. Is Hasten gonna be psychic? Okay, no, I don't think that's gonna be the case. What makes you think that? It's complicated. I guess he's so different. I'm willing to believe a lot of unusual things when it's related to him. Come on, it's just a kid. Hasten, come to us. Hasten. As Dave was desperately trying to draw Hasten's attention by gesturing and speaking louder, we sighed in unison. It was worth an effort, trying to make friends. As a matter of fact, the child didn't move an inch, nor did he respond in any way. See, I warned you. You can't get anything out of him by acting like that. Besides, right now he must be focused on something, so he won't hear you, even if you shout in his ear. And no, don't try it, please. I'm gonna show you how to deal with kids. Sticking to his guns, Dave stood up and approached the slab. He was obviously trying to force him to respond. How childish of him. Yeah, fail on your part, Dave. Hasten, come to us. Hasten turned his head with a blank stare and returned to his game without saying a word. Fail. Taking offense at his silence, Dave came back to us. He grouched that Hasten's attitude was rude, and we couldn't stop laughing at him. That doesn't look like laughing faces. That looks like we're disappointed in you. You have brought shame to our group. You said you knew how to handle kids. Too brutal. You gotta look at what he's doing without bothering him. Adeline slowly approached Hanson and tilted her head to see what his game was about. Apparently he was making outlines in the dust with a small car. Always the same outline. An 8, again and again. Adeline found that really interesting and asked Alicia if she could play with him from time to time. Figure 8s. Of course. Bah, he's just playing with a small car. It's ridiculous at his age. He should grow up mentally. Oh, come on. Cars are awesome. Small cars are fun to play with. Dots. See, even Hasten's like dots. Failure. Everyone looked at each other jaded. It was crystal clear that Dave was the kind of person who tended to be rather tactless. There was a long pause in the conversation. Nobody wanted to talk anymore. Even Dave felt there was something awkward in the air and avoided going on. The thick silence went on for a while. nobody knowing how to start the conversation again. After what felt like an eternity, a stomach growled. It was Hasten's. Come to think of it, I'm starting to get a bit hungry too. That could be a good time for a meal. Imagine if we didn't have, those biscuits to share. We'd probably just all be, incredibly miserable. A meal of air? Delicious, but not very nourishing. I have 6 biscuits on me. Let's share them along with the water. I'm curious why you didn't bring this up earlier. I mean, my character asked if anyone had food or water, and whatever. I'd advise you to cut them in half so we can have another meal later. We don't have much to eat, so let's impose rationing. And so went our humble meal. Each of us got half of a biscuit and a portion of water. Not enough to soothe my appetite, sadly. That sucks. Well, since the rescue team still isn't here, I guess we'll be sleeping in this charming place. Too bad we don't have some kind of blanket. Bah, sleeping directly on the floor is not suited for my age. If only I had known, I would have taken my coat. Would someone be kind enough to help me when the moment comes? I don't want to sleep in my wheelchair. It's not comfy enough for that. No problem. Sleeping on the floor? Here? It's disgraceful. I don't want to. Well, then you can sleep standing up. None of us like the idea either, you know. Or you could ask Gabriel if you can sleep in his wheelchair. You can try that. I'm kidding. David's such a crybaby. If you want, I can sing you a lullaby. No thanks. Though all of us probably could do with a lullaby. It wasn't time to sleep yet, so we had some free time to spend. We were joking about the fact that the rescue team would probably wake us up in the middle of the night. Deep down, I was sure everyone wished that would be the case. Soon enough, conversations died down. I couldn't stay on my own doing nothing. I had to speak to someone to help me forget. Speak to Alicia and Hasten. I decided to join Alicia and Hasten, who were sitting in a corner. I wanted to know more about them. The child was quietly playing with his mother's hair while lying on her lap. The scene was both weird and cute. As he was gazing at the hair, I noticed something on his arm, hidden by his t-shirt. It was some sort of bracelet. What's that? A bracelet? Alicia looked down in embarrassment. Yes, actually my phone number and address are on it. A safety measure for when he runs away. He tends to do it a lot. Okay. What do you mean? He sometimes runs off without saying anything? Yes. Hasten is actually very sensitive. Whenever there is noise, too many people, or overly strong stimuli, he gets nervous. And when he can't handle it anymore, he runs away. He does it a lot with his school teacher. She can't stand treating him differently from the others, so she forces him to do stuff against his will. I tried to explain to her, but she won't listen to me. She told me I was a bad mother for not teaching my child how to properly behave, but she doesn't understand how Hasten is. Well, then she's not a good teacher. Different students are different. He's not disobeying because he wants to annoy her. He does so because she's asking too much of him. Last time there was a school trip, they went to an exposition in the middle of the city. They took the bus. The other children were laughing loudly. There was a lot of traffic. I knew it would happen. I tried to make her promise she would try to be careful with him. It was all in vain. We searched for him for hours. Darn, if she didn't have so many jobs, then she she could have, like, chaperoned him or something like that. That sucks. So I gave him this bracelet to be sure that if someone picked him up, they would know how to contact me. Poor Hasten, and yet he doesn't seem that difficult to live with. He's not when you know how he works, but most people won't spend the effort to try to understand it. At least you seem to be there for him. I wish I could be, but I'm working too much for that. I have many part-time jobs to try to make ends meet. I barely see him. You know, it's unfair. Many unemployed persons have too much time on their hands, but no money to do anything, so they pace up and down like caged lions. While on the other hand, rich people are way too busy to spend their money too often either. If only we could split up the work in two, it'd make much happier people. The jobless would have much more work, and office workers would spend more time with their family. I guess I shouldn't dream, right? Don't say that. Oh, golly. Ugh. You may not have noticed yet, I'm of the pessimistic kind. I've been through so many things in my life, I don't believe in anything anymore. The only thing that I'm sure of is that nothing I'll do will ever matter. Underprivileged people don't have the luxury of choosing the life they want. I don't know what to say, and simply put a comforting hand on her shoulder. After this conversation, we decided it was time to rest. Okay, I'm ending the video here because I think it's at this point where it jumps to that one image and I always end up having to read that and my voice is done. So, let's save. Let's use this last slot. Yeah, double save it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Quit. Yep. Yes. Pressing that yes button. Load to make sure it's there. Okay, we're all set. I'll see you guys in the next video, and what I'll do is I'll move Tales of Link to this phone. That way I can record it and finally do what I think is the last chapter. So, hopefully, like, sometime in October, you'll get those songs. You'll either get the Avatar, melodies, stuff, and, Miraniki opening, sometime this week. I'm gonna try to do the Avatar thing today, but it might end up just getting moved tomorrow. That way I can focus on the Halloween stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and bye.